D2 Word Life here with Rip. This is his favorite WrestleMania main event tides.
Go fuck yourself. This was the shittiest fucking main event ever, and I will explain why.
In your opinion, it may be the shittiest main event ever, but you fucking picked it, you asshole.
It doesn't matter. I wanted to explain why I thought it was shit to begin with. Even with the video, I didn't get to say how shitty it was.
You're too funny. But anyway, the event in question that we are reviewing, which, keep in mind, was his pick, is WrestleMania 33. That took place on April 2nd, 2017. And a little fun fact, this WrestleMania was the first WrestleMania to happen after this YouTube channel got started. That we're actually putting this video up on, that you're watching this on. Anyway, that's beside the point. It took place in Orlando, Florida, at the Camping World Stadium, even though it was freaking advertised as the Citrus Bowl, same arena, just different name. Right?
Yep.
With an attendance of 64,900, even though they announced it as 75,245. WWE likes to inflate their attendance by adding every worker in person in the building, too. Supposedly, right?
No, that was the actual attendance.
Well, 64,000 or 75,000, either way, that's still a lot of people. Right?
Yes.
And of course, the commentators for this event was your boy Michael Cole.
Go fuck yourself.
Corey Graves, Byron Saxon, Tom Phillips, JBL, David Otunga, Jim Ross, and Jerry Lawler. And the ring announcers were JoJo, Greg Hamilton, and Al Roker for that mixed tag match.
I don't know how Al Roker got mixed into it, but he did.
Oh yeah, and this WrestleMania had hosts, your favorite, The New Day.
No, Bude, no, that is your team.
Hey, Big E was actually pretty good, yo. So was Kofi.
The only one that I liked out of The New Day was Big E.
And of course, Kofi Kingston, he added longevity to that tag team. He is considered a veteran these days.
Well, yeah. Well, Big E and Kofi Kingston, yes. But now it's Kofi Kingston and friggin' Xavier Woods. They're the Bude.
I mean, Xavier Woods, to me, at this current point, really ain't up to the level of, say, a Big E or Kofi Kingston, but he's there in his own right, because he has some great accomplishments under his own belt, too. That's all I'm pretty much saying, right?
No.
But, back then, they were the hosts that didn't even have a match here. They just got done with their longest reigning tag team championship at this point. So, yeah, and they were fan favorites at this point. That's why they were picked as hosts. So let's briefly talk about the pre-show matches that occurred before the pay-per-view went on air. And that was 1, Neville defeating Austin Aries to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. Do you even remember Austin Aries' time in WWE? Because it was very brief.
Yes.
I mean, he's more well-known for being in, like, TNA and in Ring of Honor, those kind of places.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was Austin Aries' only WrestleMania. It was a pre-show, and he took a loss here. And then Zack Ryder's best pal, Mojo Rawley, won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. No one really cares about the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Really, nothing comes from it.
No, people do care about it. I like it, but no one cared about Mojo Rawley because nothing came out of his damn career.
I mean, can you name one thing about Mojo Rawley's career other than the fact that he used to be Zack Ryder's tag team partner?
That went nowhere? No.
I mean, I know he was one of the hosts for WrestleMania 36, but no one really wants to remember that Mania for obvious reasons either. And of course,
Mojo's career went absolutely nowhere because he couldn't wrestle.
Yeah. And of course, the last pre-show match to happen on the pre-show, which I honestly think should have been on the main card, was the Intercontinental Championship match where Dean Ambrose defeated Baron Corbin to retain the title.
Yeah.
But either way, I guess Dean Ambrose, the now John Moxley, got a WrestleMania payday despite competing on the pre-show, so I don't think he was really complaining at this point.
Nope.
So yeah, and the pay-per-view WrestleMania 33 kicks off proper with Tinashi. I knew I butchered that name. Singer celebrity saying America the Beautiful. I'm really bad at names here.
I don't really pay attention to the singers that sing America the Beautiful, even though I should. I just hear it enough times that I was like, okay.
Yeah, I just like to mention it here because they do that at WrestleMania.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, I'm not bashing on it or nothing. I'm just saying, I hear it enough every time I watch an old WrestleMania or anything. I'm just like, okay. I don't even know how to say her name all that much either, so.
It's funny freaking watching WrestleMania 33 before this review. I know they pronounced her name perfectly at the start, and literally after that segment, I'm like, okay, how'd they pronounce that name? Because I really don't know, and I'm not gonna rewind it back because I'll probably forget it anyway.
Yeah, she was a good singer. Don't get me wrong; she was very good.
But anyway, the first match we're going to talk about here, maybe some of the big spots here that we can remember, is the underrated classic, which was AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon to kick off WrestleMania proper. Okay, I'm going to say this right now. For a Shane McMahon match, this one was not bad at all. It's still as good as I remember it being, and that's giving Shane McMahon credit, which I don't do very often.
Well, this was before Shane McMahon had to have hip surgery.
Yeah. I mean, he took the fight to AJ Styles. This just wasn't a one-sided brawl like everyone thought it would be. And the story going into this one was AJ Styles was ticked off because he lost the championship to Cena, then lost the Elimination Chamber, and then lost the number one contenders match, and had no match on the card.
That didn't have anything to do for Mania, and then started a feud with Shane McMahon,
which included Styles freaking bashing Shane McMahon's head into a car window backstage.
Yes.
With Shane.
Well, it started with him regrouping with his friends, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, the Good Brothers, which he kind of brought back the Bullet Club theme that he had with them.
Oh, yeah, and I forgot to mention this before the match. The New Day came out, advertised WrestleMania, the host, whatever, but, we already figured that out. But anyway, we go into this match. Shane McMahon, like I said, was taking the fight to Styles here, catching Styles off guard in the early going. Right?
Yeah.
And at one point during the match when, Styles had the upper hand, he actually went for a springboard 450 splash, which Shane countered into a triangle choke. I'm like, holy crap, what the heck? Didn't expect that out of Shane, did you?
Not really, no.
Because that's the first time I think I've seen a high-flying move get freaking countered into a submission hold, to be honest.
Well, also, Shane McMahon was never really known for his MMA career.
No, I think Shane McMahon was also putting freaking Styles in other submission holds, like an arm bar and a leg lock and everything else in this match, I believe.
Well, that's because Shane McMahon was more of a brawler than a technical user like anyone. Then when he got older, he started doing more technical wrestling, like UFC moves and shit.
Yeah. And another good highlight I thought was, the referee went down because Styles accidentally kicked the referee in the head into the match, several minutes into the match, right? So Styles had Shane McMahon down, so Styles decided to grab Dominic Mysterio from under the ring, aka the trash can. You knew that joke was coming at some point.
God damn it. This was even before Dominic was in wrestling, yet he was already involved in wrestling with his trash can.
And then
God damn it.
And then Styles draped the trash can over Shane McMahon, and then Styles attempted to use Shane McMahon's move, the coast to coast, which Shane McMahon got up and just yeeted the trash can into Styles midair.
That was actually funny as hell. He fucking just like, well, you want to use my move against me? Fuck you.
And then at one point, we thought the match was over when Styles nailed the freaking Styles Clash on Shane, only for a near fall. I think that happened before the coast to coast attempt, but still noteworthy, right?
Yes.
And at one time near the end of the match, Shane McMahon, that's the spot that keeps getting talked about from this match. Shane McMahon tried to do the shooting star press, but Styles moved out of the way. And this was, I believe, attempted after Shane put himself through that table with a missed elbow drop.
Yeah.
To Styles as well. But then, but at the end of the match, Styles freaking hit the phenomenal forearm and pinned Shane to win the match.
Yeah.
Now, I know I got
you forgot that Shane did his own coast to coast. He literally put the fucking trash can in fucking coast to coast fucking AJ.
Oh, yeah, that is true. That was actually a good spot. Obviously, Styles kicked out of that. Got up from that.
Yeah, but he picked up, after he yeeted Dominic, he put Dominic right on AJ's face and then just fucking drop kicked and fucking jumped from the other side of the damn ring right into him.
I just love how you casually say that after he yeeted Dominic. He put Dominic on him again because there were 2 trash cans in the ring. Yeah, boy. But either way, I know we didn't go through all the spots. I mean, we're not going to do that for every match here. I would just recommend watch this event if you want to see all the spots here. But your thoughts on this opening contest that AJ Styles won?
It could have gone either way, actually. It could have gone Shane's if he didn't miss his elbow, or it could have gone AJ's if Shane McMahon didn't freaking get into the ropes to break the calf crusher.
Yeah, so either way, I mean, I believe this is an underrated gym that doesn't really get talked about very often. And it's a match that...
It was actually a back and forth.
I mean, we all thought this match at the time was going to be mostly one-sided. It ended up being a masterpiece. And I don't say that very often about Shane McMahon's matches. AJ Styles, on the other hand, he had a lot of masterpieces under his belt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was an excellent way to kick off this show, and it got the fans pumped with an unexpected great match to start off the show.
Yep.
So we go immediately to our next match, which was for the U.S. Championship. It was Jericho defending the U.S. Championship against Kevin Owens. And this came about after, their friendship or partnership, which Owens betrayed Jericho in that Festival of Friendship
segment. After Owens stabbed Jericho in the back for the 11 millionth time.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, and I remember going into this feud, everyone couldn't stop talking about this feud. This was the feud everyone was talking about going into Mania, and everyone thought this was going to be a Universal title match since Owens was the Universal Champion for most of this feud.
It was supposed to be for the Universal, but with Jericho's interference on that SmackDown.
No, it was Fastlane.
Or of that week.
It was at Fastlane that Jericho interfered, costing Owens the championship to Goldberg.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that because Owens did his rematch the week before Mania or 2 weeks before Mania, I think.
But, either way, Owens lost the Universal Championship, thus making this match for the U.S. title instead.
Yep.
And, this was back when Jericho did the whole list of Jericho, hence why it was kind of funny when Owens betrayed Jericho when he goes, "Hey, you gave me a new list. Why is my name on this?" The list of KO. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, the list of Jericho gimmick at this point was actually pretty over. People still quote that to this day. Right?
Well, that was Jericho's most underrated character that he did?
Oh, yeah. And you know what happened? You made me review this shitty WrestleMania. You know what happened? You just made the list.
I know you made the list. The asshole list.
Yeah, I know I was on the asshole list. Yeah, but these two went at it as soon as the bell rang. U.S. Championship on the line, which was Chris Jericho with the U.S. title is kind of a rare gem to see because he's more synonymous with the Intercontinental title.
Well, Jericho had never won the U.S. title before.
Yeah, until he beat, I believe, Roman Reigns for it in January of 2017, a couple months prior to this.
With the help of Kevin Owens.
Yes. I think total Jericho had 2 U.S. title runs, so the one we're talking about here is his first one.
Figured out that Owens was gonna stab Jericho in the back because he had already stabbed his friend Sami Zayn in the back multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah, but at one point during this match, Owens attempted the pop-up powerbomb on Jericho, but Jericho countered and performed the lion salt on Owens for a 2 count. Right?
Yeah.
Which that was a pretty good back and forth segment. That could have gone either way, but then... Yeah, but then freaking Owens then performed the Jericho's own submission hold, the walls of Jericho on Jericho, who got out of it. Because you know Jericho wasn't going to tap out to his own submission hold.
Yeah.
Of course, that's at one point, Owens was able to perform the pop-up powerbomb, but Jericho kicked out as well. And then freaking Jericho later on countered Kevin Owens' a second attempt at the pop-up powerbomb into a code breaker, which I thought was pretty unique to see.
Yeah.
But
Kevin Owens also tried to go for that fucking running power bomb that Jericho reversed too multiple times.
Yes. And I want to mention this spot too. We got to mention this spot. I mean, after the code breaker, Jericho did pin Kevin Owens, who got a 2 count, but the count was broken when Owens literally got his finger on the rope to get the rope break.
Yeah, no, that was like 2 and 1.9999999 seconds of a millisecond.
Yes. And I'm just like, dang, one freaking finger, or what the announcer said, 1 knuckle. I mean, this match...
Could you say it was the knuckle of Savior?
I guess.
Instead of the finger poke of doom, it was the knuckle of the Savior?
Yes, I guess you could, if you want to put it like that, yeah.
Because his knuckle saved him?
Yeah, and remember when Kevin Owens debuted in NXT and turned on Sami Zayn by giving Zayn the powerbomb onto the ring apron?
Yes.
Yeah, Owens did the same thing to Jericho near the end of the match. And then
Jericho fucking reversed it too.
Yeah. By the way, Jericho got powerbombed into the ring apron. And I believe he suffered another pop-up powerbomb in the ring before Owens pinned him to win his first U.S. championship.
Yeah.
So, I know we didn't... I mean, this match, us just briefly talking about it, doesn't do it any justice. This is just a match you would have to see, because it was...
Owens' first U.S. title, because he had beaten John Cena for it.
Well, either way, I don't really remember if Owens won it from Cena. I don't remember. Gonna have to go back and review that feud.
Owens won it from Cena, but Cena got it back.
I don't really remember that feud all that much on the top of my head, but either way, regardless, Owens won the U.S. title here.
John Cena, when Bret Hart was introducing Sami Zayn to face John Cena in his Open Invitational.
Yeah.
I mean, and after the match, Kevin Owens came and started to attack Sami Zayn again, and then said, "Oh, John Cena, you don't have to worry about it. He was already injured from me beating his ass." And Cena challenged him, and he wanted it for the U.S. title, won the U.S. title, then lost it a couple weeks after.
Yeah, well, either way, regardless of what happened in the past, Kevin Owens did win the U.S. championship here from Jericho, right? And our little brief back and forth really ain't gonna do it any justice. You're just gonna have to watch this match for yourself too to get the full length of the match and the close moments. Which I thought this match from start to finish was actually a pretty good match, despite the brief little spots we talked about here.
Yeah.
And now this match for as good as it was, is also controversial with one little moment that happened backstage that we should just briefly talk about here. Now, I don't know the full story, but the story that I got of it is that after the match, Kevin Owens went to Vince McMahon, who was in the back in the gorilla position, and I guess he asked Vince, "Hey, did me and Jericho have a good match?" And Vince just looked at him and said, "No." And apparently, when that was reported back to Jericho, that's what made him decide to just leave after his contract expired. That's just the story I got. I don't know if you have any other story from that situation, but apparently Vince McMahon hated the match.
From what I've heard in rumors is that Jericho wanted it to be a spectacular match, which it was. Don't get me wrong. That was a 5 out of 5, or 4.5 out of 5 match. But he wanted it because it was kind of a grudge match. He wanted it in his style of match, of the ladder match or something.
Yeah.
And Owens refused, saying that it would only be, he wants just to do it on a one-on-one. Mr. McMahon was already about to agree to Jericho's. And then when, because it would have been a little bit better of a match if it had more of a ladder aspect or anything.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that rumor was true or not. But at that point,
years ago,
after the match, it kind of, yeah.
But either way, it led to Jericho leaving the company for pastures new, which is why he's in AEW right now.
Which he is regretting.
Because I know it was shortly after Mania, Jericho did take a leave. He came probably to do a Fozzy tour. Because, it was around after Mania that his song Judas freaking hit the charts, which he would use as AEW entrance theme in AEW, obviously.
Yes, he had a Fozzy tour.
And then he came back for a brief period, won the U.S. title back, and then dropped it again to Owens, I believe. And then after that, Jericho left, wrestled in Japan, did one more appearance at the Greatest Royal Rumble the following year, and then after that, left the company for good. And then helped develop AEW.
He wants to finish his career in WWE.
Yep. So, and then about a year after, and then about a year after the Greatest Royal Rumble, which really ain't the Greatest Royal Rumble, but we'll say it anyway. Jericho freaking signed was one of the original people that signed with AEW, which he's still there to this day.
Yeah.
So, making WrestleMania 33 today Jericho's final WrestleMania appearance.
Yeah, and his Fozzy tour will be in Roseville on the 25th. So 5 days after WrestleMania, if you guys wanted to know that. And then he'll be in Anaheim on the 26th.
Yeah.
Just letting everyone know that his tour is going to be here in California. If you guys haven't kept up with any of his posts or anything.
Yep. So anyway, next we go on to... next we go on to the Fatal 4-Way elimination match for the Raw Women's Championship, which saw Bayley defend against Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, and Sasha Banks. This was a 4-way elimination. Jax freaking dominated this one early on. Right.
Honestly, if those three did not team up, Nia Jax could have won the whole thing.
Now, this is just my opinion. I know Becky Lynch was on SmackDown, but this match would have probably been way better if Nia Jax was in that 6-pack challenge and Becky Lynch was here in this Fatal 4-Way. Mostly because that would mean all of the four horsewomen would have had that fatal 4-way WrestleMania match that everyone wanted to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But but yeah, they talked about the importance of the Raw Women's Championship during the video package here, with the title switching back and forth between Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks throughout the second half of 2016, including that women's Hell in a Cell match from the 2016 Hell in a Cell event.
Yeah.
And of course, Sasha Banks wasn't the champion anymore. Charlotte Flair dropped the title to Bayley, I believe, on a Raw month prior to this. Plus, Bayley successfully retaining against Charlotte Flair at the Fastlane pay-per-view, giving us this fatal four-way match, which at the beginning, Nia Jax, like I said, dominated early on. Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it looked like Nia Jax was in control until Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha Banks started triple teaming her, including a triple, which all three of them performed a triple powerbomb, and Jax was eliminated after the other three just pinned her at once.
Yeah.
Like you were alluding to earlier. And at this time, freaking Banks tried to apply a bank statement onto Flair, who escaped the hold. And let's not mention I forgot to mention after Jax was eliminated, freaking Sasha Banks or Charlotte Flair was trying to do it for a high five with her three opponents, and Bayley and Sasha looked at her and goes, "Nope, we ain't doing that." Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, freaking Flair actually tried to expose the metal turnbuckle, which she smashed Banks' head into, knocking her out of the match. Right?
Yep.
And then we just led down to 2, which was Bayley and Flair here. And Flair was in control for most of it until freaking I think Flair went in for some kind of like attack in the corner, which Bayley tripped her up, and Flair ate exposed turnbuckle, which led to Bayley performing that flying elbow drop onto Flair to retain the championship.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this match was bad, it just could have been better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I know it's like your thoughts on this 4-way, because to me it just didn't seem like a match WrestleMania worthy. Now, if it was just like I said, all 4 horsewomen in there, that would have been to me a better fatal 4-way type encounter.
Yeah, it was decent. It was still, yes, people wanted to have the 4 horsewomen, which they kind of wanted, but they had the draft, but shortly before Mania, and Becky Lynch was drafted to SmackDown. So they had to do another tournament, I think it was.
Yeah,
and Nia Jax won that to be in the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah.
And like I said, if Charlotte Flair, Bayley, which you like that version of Bayley because you liked her Bayley buddies.
No, that's you. I like her persona now.
And Sasha Banks.
Yep.
Or Money Monet or whatever she now is.
Mercedes Monet.
Mercedes Monet. If those 3 did not team up like they did to take out Nia Jax would have won that.
Yeah, of course.
Because she dominated that whole match.
Of course, it wouldn't be all bad news for Nia Jax at this point, because the following year, WrestleMania 34, Nia Jax would win the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 34. Before dominating as the women's champion since the summer of last year, before dropping it in January. So yeah, it's not all bad. Just long term, Nia Jax had a better successful career than this. But I can understand they were trying to push her as an unstoppable monster at this point in the women's division, obviously. Oh yeah, and let's not mention. Let's not forget. let's not forget, I did like Sasha Banks' little entrance. She came down riding on the back of the car, though.
Yeah.
But you forgot to mention that before talking about the match. But either way, I'm just saying it was a good match. Just could have been better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then after the Raw Women's Championship match, they talk about the people. They did their little 2017 Hall of Fame class ceremony, like they do every year at WrestleMania. So 2017 Hall of Fame class was Diamond Dallas Page, The Rock and Roll Express, Teddy Long, your boy Rick Rude, Beth Phoenix,
A fabulous Rick Rude. Thank you very much.
Eric LeGrand, who got the Warrior Award, and of course, the headliner for this year's lineup was Kurt Angle. All deserving for a Hall of Fame spot. Right?
Yes.
You know why I said Rick Rude was your boy, Porn Stash Man?
It's a fabulous stash. Thank you very much.
We can debate this all day. Hell, that even got brought up in our little wrestling group chat, too, not that long ago.
Yes, I know.
That was funny. The joke plays itself out, I swear. Right. Now, the next match we're about to talk about is for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And this was originally scheduled to be a triple threat tag team ladder match between the champions Anderson and Gallows, Enzo and Cass, and Cesaro and Sheamus, better known as The Bar. But this was before they had their bar name, right?
No, they were called The Bar.
Yep. But, after the three teams made their entrances here, including, Enzo Amore and Big Cass had the best entrance up to this point, with Enzo talking shit on the microphone like he always does. Right?
They always talk shit. And then Big Cass followed. I was like, oh, there's only one word to describe all three of you. S-A-W-F-T. Swaft.
So, yep. And of course, right before the match could begin, after the three teams made their entrances here, the New Day actually came out, the hosts of this show. And then the New Day announced that, we've just been informed that this match will be a fatal four-way or a four-team ladder match for the Raw Tag Team titles. And then they were playing up to the crowd like, I wonder who could it be? Implying that they were just going to insert themselves into this match, right?
Yes.
And then that's when it happened. A certain theme song freaking started playing and everyone lost their shit. And of course, I am talking about the return of the Hardy Boys at this point.
Well, everyone kind of, because everyone was literally saying, delete, 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 delete. And then all of a sudden, all you hear is that iconic Hardy Boys theme.
Yeah, and this would be Jeff Hardy's first appearance in 8 years, and this was Matt Hardy's first appearance in 7 years, since both of them left the company in 2009 and 2010, respectively. Right.
Yep.
And during that time period, they both would go on to be TNA World Champions and ROH Tag Team Champions and TNA Tag Team Champions. But, so that's why it was a big deal when they returned. And Matt Hardy actually reinvented himself as Broken Matt Hardy before this return, too. So everyone knows about that character as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, this was a four-way ladder match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. There was a lot of crazy wild spots and ladder bumps in this one. I couldn't even keep track of them all. So, before we get to what spots in this match really stuck out to you from watching this one?
I like how Jeff Hardy didn't give two shit, just went underneath every fucking ladder that there was.
Be like, well, that's bad luck. Right.
And fucking, all four teams all fucking, they're like, die.
Yeah, and
well, the other three teams was just like, the fuck? Well, except for Gallows and Anderson, because they fought the Hardys
before.
when they were Broken Matt and Brother Nero when they were in TNA, when they were going to every other wrestling promotion except for WWE at that point, gaining title belts for the tag team.
Yeah, the ladder was used as a weapon multiple times. Freaking, people were being thrown off the ladders. You know, it was your typical ladder bump fest here, is what I am saying. But, you know, all of them were down. Matt, and at the end, near the end, they had like the ladder set up between the ring and the barricade. Matt performed the twist of fate off the ladder to Anderson. And while Sheamus and Cesaro was freaking laying on that two ladders that were bridged out on the outside between the
Roman Hardy went on to another fucking 20-foot ladder and fucking did the swanton.
Yes, Jeff Hardy did the swanton off of a 20-foot ladder through Cesaro and Sheamus, even though only one ladder broke.
Luckily, Sheamus did not get a concussion this time.
So yeah, and after all that carnage, Matt Hardy was on the top of the ladder and retrieved the Raw Tag Team Championships, making the Hardy Boys the new Raw Tag Team Champions here, winning in their comeback match. Now, as far like I know we didn't go through like any of the spots except for like the end here. This is just a brutal match that you need to see for yourself. Just the reaction of the Hardy Boys alone is enough to watch it. Right?
Dude, just the Hardy Boys coming back alone made it fucking over the top. And then the fucking seeing the Good Brothers, Enzo and Cash, Cesaro and
Sheamus,
the Bar. Freaking, which they were going at each other's throats fucking months prior to this.
So yeah, Sheamus and Cesaro were relatively still a new tag team put together with one reign under the belt after feuding with each other for months on end. And then I guess,
and then you just go with the Hardy Boys just to make it even more chaotic
in their style of matchup here. Let's not forget, literally about a week before this WrestleMania 33 event, the Hardy Boys were the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
And they dropped the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships to the Young Bucks literally the day prior to WrestleMania 33. And I remember at the time, reading those rumors about the Hardy Boys returning to the WWE at the time. You know, the same rumors we hear now. And even at the time, I thought to myself, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And it actually happened. And everyone, including me here at home, lost their shit. Because I did not expect it. Did you? When you first seen it?
Not really. Well, yeah, it's in now.
Yeah. So either way, I believe this marked Matt Hardy's 7th win at WrestleMania, but this was Jeff Hardy's first win at WrestleMania, finally breaking his WrestleMania loss streak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, our description is totally not justice to this one. It's a match you gotta go see for yourself. Would I rank this match high? Yes. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we go to perhaps your favorite match of the night. The Total Divas mixed tag match between Miz and Maurice against John Cena and Nikki Bella. With Al Roker as the ring announcer.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I never even watched Total Divas, so I could have given a crap less about this whole storyline that was playing at this time. Right? I just know freaking I just know also during the build up to this, Miz and Maurice actually cosplayed as Cena and Nikki Bella during an episode of Raw. Right? Where pretty much Miz was mocking Cena and about his house rules and everything else. Right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, rule number 553. If you're going to take a shit in my toilet, I need to know how many squares of toilet paper you wiped with. They didn't really say that, but they were implying it. All right? So yeah, this is technically the second meeting at WrestleMania between Cena and The Miz, because we all know what happened during their first meeting. Am I right?
Yes.
The match didn't really start off that well. I mean, Nikki Bella and Maurice started the match, only for Maurice to tag out immediately, and then Cena and then Miz was running all over the place, trying to get away from Cena. You know the heel tactic here. Eventually, Cena was able to catch the Miz after reversing some of the Miz's moves in the ring. That he was offense, I should say. Cena got in control, and at one point, Nikki Bella did tag in, and it was just pretty much the double team sequence here at this point. And near the end of the match here, freaking the Miz hit the attitude adjustment, or Cena hit the attitude adjustment on Miz, while Bella performed the Rack Attack 2.0 on Maurice at the same time, which Cena and Bella both pinned Miz and Maurice to win this match. I could have really cared less about this mixed tag. I really did not need to see it.
It was a relatively short match.
I guess in a way, Cena used this to erase his loss from WrestleMania 27, but that match is still abysmal. Right? Not as bad as the main event of WrestleMania 27 between The Miz and Cena, but not very good either. Right?
No.
It was just, to me, it just felt there to be there. And you know what? Let's talk about what happened after the match.
John Cena would propose to Nikki, which really led nowhere.
Yes. I mean, watching it live back then, it was a big deal, but because we all knew Cena and Nikki Bella were dating each other anyway. But looking back at that now, I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, that moment aged like milk.
Yeah, because fucking Nikki Bella betrayed Cena by fucking cheating on his ass.
Yeah, I mean, those two would literally be separated literally less than a year later.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, well, this moment aged like fucking milk. Right. I mean, to me, the most entertaining thing about this match was the build-up when at the time Cena called Miz and Maurice. I'll be like, oh, so how many children do you have? Well, when you add up the math, that equals none. What are you, shooting blanks down there, cowboy? Well, hitting Miz in the nuts. That was like the most entertaining part of this, to me. Right?
Yep.
Of course, now I think Miz and Maurice have one, maybe two kids at most, maybe one. I'm not totally sure. I don't keep track of celebrities' personal lives.
They have two.
Yeah. But back then they didn't have any at all.
No. It was shortly after this Mania that Miz and Maurice had their first daughter.
Not that I really care, because I don't keep track of celebrity or wrestlers' family life, because, that's their business.
Well, the Miz would literally flaunt it on fucking Raw every fucking week.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to make it known, their family business known, then more power to them. I could really care less. Right? And here we go to what I believe was the longest match of the night, and that was the match between Triple H and Seth Rollins, with the story building up that Triple H turned his back on Rollins, and then Triple H pretty much said Rollins was a failure after he built him up. When Rollins' knee got injured, and the focus of this feud was Rollins' knee. Right?
Well, after he literally gave him the keys to the kingdom.
Quote, yeah, all in air quotes at this point. So yeah, and this was billed as a non-sanctioned match, meaning if Triple H injured Seth Rollins badly again to where he couldn't wrestle, he couldn't sue WWE, he couldn't sue Triple H, they had nothing to do with this match. All right?
Yep.
Of course, we gotta talk about the entrances, though. I did like Triple H's police motorcycle escorted entrance here, where he and Stephanie came out riding a 3-wheel motorcycle. That actually looked pretty badass, you gotta admit.
Right.
Yeah, the trike. Yeah. And then Rollins came out with a torch and pretty much burned it down. Oh, shit.
Oh, did you just shit yourself there, buddy? Do you need to go use the bathroom?
Fuck off. Fuck off. Some tells me we'll be bringing that up during the WrestleMania 41 Night 1 review as well, where we go more into depth about that shit, but I'm not going to talk about the story here.
He almost shit himself on Raw when fucking Seth Rollins' music came on there.
Yeah, whatever. We'll talk more about... I'll talk about that later on during the WrestleMania 41 review. Ugh. Because isn't Rollins competing that night in that main event? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, night 1.
Yep. But anyway, let's talk about this.
Or is that they have it as WrestleMania Saturday now?
Yeah, well, I'll still call it WrestleMania Night 1 because I don't care. That's just the way I'm used to calling them now.
Because they went back to night 1 and then they're going back to WrestleMania Saturday. I'm like, keep it as night 1.
No. WrestleMania this weekend is going to be WrestleMania 419 and Easter Sunday is going to be WrestleMania 420.
Yes, everyone's going to light it up. Light it up, light it up, light it up, I'm on fire.
You're too much.
And then they're going to burn it down.
But anyway, this match was long enough. But some of the spots I remember was on the outside of shortly like after the match began at some point, Rollins tried to pedigree freaking Triple H onto the announce table, but Triple H countered it into a DDT, right?
Yeah.
And then Triple H pretty much targeted Rollins' legs, including freaking propping his leg up between the announce table and the timekeeper area or barricade, whatever you want to call it, and smashing his knee there. This whole time it was just a story of Triple H just working on Seth Rollins' knee.
Yeah.
Including implying an inverted figure 4 leg lock, which Rollins got out of, but Rollins was selling the knee injury in this matchup, unlike you on 2K.
Unlike you on 2K as well.
Okay, there's our jokes on each other once per video.
Little bitch trying to fucking no-sell. Can't no-sell like I can.
Yeah. Laugh it up, asshole. Fuck off. And since this was the Noah's Board match stipulation, Triple H tried to use the sledgehammer, which Rollins reversed with an enziguri, knocking Triple H down. Right?
Yep.
And of course, when Rollins was going for it, Stephanie McMahon snatched the sledgehammer away from Rollins, thus preventing the sledgehammer from even being used here in this scenario.
Yeah.
And of course, this distraction allowed Triple H to hit the pedigree on Rollins for a freaking 2 count. In this,
yep.
Which I thought that was going to be it, but nope. And then freaking Triple H was like, and then a little later on, Triple H was like, I'm going to do this pedigree off this top rope that me and Rollins are on, but Rollins reversed it into a Phoenix splash on Triple H for a 2 count.
Yep.
But can you imagine if Triple H was able to hit that super pedigree from the top rope? There ain't no getting up after that. That would have been actually a great visual to see. We've never seen Triple H do that before.
Yep.
Probably for good reason, but still, we've never seen it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they were like trading each other's moves, counters back and forth. This match could have gone either way, but at one point, freaking Stephanie was on the apron, and there was a table set outside the ring also at this point. Near the end of the matchup, Stephanie got up onto the apron. Triple H almost ran into her. Caught himself, was like, nope. But then Rollins performed the super kick onto Triple H, which in tow caused him to bump into Stephanie, making her crash to the table. Right?
Yep.
Which everyone popped for that, am I right?
Yep.
And of course, this distraction allowed friggin' Rawls to come back and actually nail Triple H with the pedigree to win the match.
Yep.
Which I believe this was the first and only time we ever seen Triple H get pinned after his own finisher. After about a 30-minute battle here. I know we didn't go through all of it through spot for spot. I mean, pretty much what I'm saying is you need to watch this event or these matches that we recommend to get the full story all the way through here. We're just going through this stuff briefly, but what do you think about this match overall as a whole?
Well, if Stephanie McMahon didn't try to fucking interfere with the ref, Triple H could have probably won it without hitting her by accident.
Yeah.
Because Rollins fucking literally hit him into her.
Yeah. So, to me, this was the best in the match of the night at this point. These two told the story that they needed to tell here, and there was points where, honestly, it could have gone either way, really.
Yeah.
But in the end, seeing freaking Triple H lose to his own move that he passed down to Seth Rollins to begin with was both embarrassing and hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we go on to the next match, which was the sad tale of the WWE Championship match from this event, where it was the Royal Rumble winner Randy Orton taking on the WWE Champion Bray Wyatt, the late great Bray Wyatt, who won the title literally a little over 2 months earlier at the Elimination Chamber 2017 event, which we already reviewed.
Yes.
Oh boy, and the story for this one was Orton originally was an associate of the Wyatt family until he decided to turn his back on Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, which led to him burning down the Wyatt compound that supposedly had Sister Abigail's ashes in it. And this angered Bray Wyatt to the point of no return that the match was on. And, this felt like a blood feud going in, right? Did this freaking match fit the blood feud? Not exactly. I mean, Bray Wyatt made his entrance first. And that W Championship actually looked good around Bray Wyatt's waist. He actually well deserved it at that point in his career.
Yeah.
You and I both can agree on that, right?
Yep.
And when Randy Orton made his typical Viper entrance, I know the WWE producers were going for like a snake going down the rampway with Randy Orton, but let's just call a spade a spade. The snake that was on the little like LED Tron on the entrance ramp looked like a fucking sperm chasing Randy Orton. I am not joking. That's what it looked like to me.
Snake sperm.
And even freaking Orton to this day even said it looked exactly like that. Right?
Could you say it was Damien's snake sperm?
Well, if you want to put it that way. It just looked awkward. I know the effect they were going for, but it looked like something else. Right? Yeah, but either way, when the match started, shortly after the match started, Orton did attempt an RKO on Wyatt, who rolled out of the ring, right, to avoid eating the RKO, but these two were trying to have a good solid match up here, but then the crazy weirdness happened. Bray Wyatt did his little pose in the corner, hanging upside down pose in the corner, and then, maggots were projected on the screen.
Yep.
And I'm just like, okay. That was a little weird, and they went back at it again, and then with Bray Wyatt getting the advantage, so he did the same pose in the corner again, and what was it, worms that appeared on the screen?
Yeah.
And somewhere, when the worms came out, the boogeyman was getting hungry. And then, Yeah, and then at one point, freaking Bray Wyatt actually nailed the Sister Abigail onto Orton, onto the barricade. But you had to put Orton back in the ring because you can't retain the title on account of, well, technically Bray Wyatt could have just had been counted out, or had Randy Orton just get counted out, he would have kept the title anyway, even though that'd be a crap way to end this match, right?
Yep.
But, Bray Wyatt decided, it's like, I'm going to try to win this with honor, so he put Orton back in the ring, where Orton just nailed an RKO on Wyatt for a 2 count, right? And in return, Wyatt then performed a Sister Abigail on Orton for another 2 count, which, honestly, that should have been a 3 in my opinion, but okay. So Wyatt started performing his creepy, crab walk in the ring, and that's when we seen maggots projected onto the screen. I'm like, really? We're onto the canvas. I'm like, really? I guess again. But in the end, it wouldn't matter because Wyatt, I think, was going for another Sister Abigail, but Orton reversed it into an RKO and actually pinned Wyatt to win the WWE Championship.
Yep.
Like I said during our main event tier list, this wasn't the weakest match. It was the weirdest. And I still stick by that statement. Your thoughts on this one?
It was one of the weirdest matches, yeah.
And a lot of people say that this WrestleMania was one of Bray Wyatt's weakest matches or weirdest matches. I mean, it wasn't his fault. He was working with what he was given, and his character was the supernatural element here.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think freaking Wyatt should have retained the championship here to have that reign continue, but that's just my opinion. I mean, because Orton would have gotten another world title reign regardless whether he lost at this Mania or not. Right?
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, let's not talk about the disaster that followed this match. Because yeah, their feud went downhill after this. I mean, this was the tipping point of their feud going downhill. Right? Lord knows, I know you're gonna make me review the event that had that crappy House of Horrors match in it, and I don't want to watch that.
That was COVID Mania.
No, that was literally the following pay-per-view after this. I think it was Extreme Rules or something like that. Or Payback or something like that. I don't remember. I don't remember, mostly because I don't want to see it. Watch,
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
Watch, you'll do your research. You go on Wikipedia and type in WrestleMania 33 and then look at the pay-per-view line. Which one was the next one? Okay, that's the one we're doing. Right.
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. You'll never know.
Oh, I already know you too well. I know you're gonna be up to something. You're gonna find a way to make me freaking review that shit.
You never know.
Okay, can we talk about a match that was actually good now? And that was the Universal Championship match where Goldberg defended the Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar. Now,
their fucking actual match that should have happened years before?
Yeah, and I'll talk about that after we talk about the. I think we're able to recall all the spots in this match. That's how short this was. But anyway, Goldberg defeated Kevin Owens to win the Universal Championship at Fastlane. And then Brock Lesnar wanted revenge on Goldberg for Goldberg humiliating Brock at Survivor Series the previous November. Right?
Yeah.
And that's why Goldberg accepted the match. That's why this was a Universal title match. And then Paul Heyman was cutting promo saying, yeah, in every fairy tale, they all start the same. Once upon a time. Talking about Goldberg's almighty comeback, defeating Brock, and then he goes, but sometimes fairy tales have a different ending where reality sets in. Thus making the fairy tale just a fairy tale. With the reality being Brock will conquer at Mania over Goldberg, ending the superhero-esque return.
No.
I'm like, okay, this build, maybe not as good as a WrestleMania 20 build, but oh my God, let's get into the match. Brock Lesnar made his, with Paul Heyman, made his entrance first, followed by Goldberg's entrance from classic entrance where they showed him leaving the locker room and heading all the way towards gorilla position. Right.
Yep.
And after the introductions were done, including Paul Heyman introducing Brock Lesnar like he always did back then, freaking right off the gate, as soon as the match started, freaking Brock Lesnar hit 3 German suplexes on Goldberg, and it was that moment I'm like, this match is already better than their Mania 20 encounter.
Yes.
With this fast-paced action.
Been their Mania 20 encounter.
And after the 3 suplexes, freaking Brock Lesnar was just posing like, yeah, I finally got him down, only to be met with 2 spears immediately. I'm like, yep.
Exactly.
And I'm like, yep, that comeback from Goldberg solidified my statement. This match is better than their WrestleMania 20 match. That match was, their Mania 20 match was ass. Right? And then both men went outside the ring because, you know, Lesnar and Payne rolled outside the ring. And Goldberg was like, fuck that. Fuck that shit. Freaking then Goldberg then performed another spear on Lesnar through the barricade into the timekeeper's area. High impact action right off the bat, bro. Right?
Yep.
So pretty much Goldberg was having his way with Brock Lesnar at this point. And then Goldberg got Lesnar back in the ring. And, well, that's when Goldberg attempted to hit a jackhammer, but Lesnar countered it and attempted an F5, but Goldberg also countered and performed another spear on the freaking Brock. And Paul Heyman was on the outside at this point.
And then when Goldberg was going for the final spear, he freaking concussed himself by hitting the freaking middle turnbuckle. Yes.
It's like, yes, but we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. Freaking hell. After the second spear, after another spear in the ring, freaking Paul Heyman was losing his shit. I think he shit his pants on the outside. Really? Right?
That's why he wore the brown pants, not the white pants.
Yeah, and then
what, no comeback for that?
Whatever. Yeah, he was wearing brown pants. Did that come with yellow underwear too? Yeah, but then following the other spear, freaking Goldberg nailed the jackhammer on Lesnar, who kicked out. No one ever kicked out of a spear jackhammer combo before at this point, right? And of course,
a bunch of people have. Brock Lesnar has not.
But yeah, Lesnar kicked out this time, unlike Survivor Series. So Goldberg went to attempt his 5th spear in the match, only for Lesnar to avoid it while Goldberg ate freaking ring post. Freaking Lesnar literally leapfrogged and jumped over an oncoming Goldberg, showing his agility, right? His freakish agility here. And then afterwards, Lesnar freaking nailed like 7, 8, 9, 10 German suplexes on him, on Goldberg. Taking Goldberg to Suplex City, right?
Yep.
And then Lesnar then performed an F5 on the Goldberg and pinned Goldberg clean to win the Universal Championship. This match only lasted about 5 minutes. But boy, was it a car crash from the start.
Yep.
This would be like playing 2K with your friend online and both of you have your finishers maxed out. That's how this was. Right? Was it better?
This should have been the first fucking encounter match where everyone actually wanted. Not that fucking bullshit.
Was this better than the WrestleMania 20 encounter? By a freaking mile. I mean, I swear to God, this is the first time I'm probably going to give like a short verified squash a freaking high score here. Because, yeah, it was way better than...
It wasn't even a fucking squash.
It was like 5 minutes. That was considered a squash, right? It was a car crash.
Not really.
It was a car crash of a match.
5-minute car crash.
Yeah, and this is the match that they should have had at WrestleMania 20 literally 13 years prior. And we all know
14 years prior.
13 or 14 years prior, doesn't matter. Years prior to this, they should have had this type of match at WrestleMania 20 when both of them were leaving, which their WrestleMania 20 match was shit. This one made up for it.
This is what people expected their fucking Mania 20 fucking 1v1 was supposed to be. But no, they gave us that shitty fucking bullshit match.
So yeah, this match, even though it was short, was to me the best match on the card. I mean, if you want to see a short, hard hitting fucking card crusher match, this is it for you. And honestly, in my opinion, this is the best Goldberg Brock match at a WrestleMania by a good fucking mile.
Yes.
And I don't care if Lesnar won, even though he was a heel going into this. And yes, this marked the beginning of Brock Lesnar's over 500-day reign as champion. I don't give a shit. It started off strong with this victory here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh. Now, with the power of hindsight, did this match need the Universal Championship? No, but am I glad we still had this match at WrestleMania, making up for the WrestleMania 20 shitfest? Yes. Am I right?
I just don't stand where they should have kept it as the Universal, because that actually made it more intense of the rivalry, because Brock Lesnar had just come back and won tournament or the Rumble for the chance to face for the fucking title.
Yep. But anyway, we go from the excitement of the Universal Championship match to the semi-main of the night, which for this event, the semi-main was the SmackDown Women's Title 6-match challenge. This was basically the bathroom break match. I hate to say it. The Goldberg-Lesnar match was really the semi-main. This was just the in-between the two main events. Right?
Yep.
And Alexa Bliss was defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Becky Lynch, Naomi, Mickie James, Natalya, and Carmella. Where the first woman to get a pinfall victory wins the match and the championship.
Yep.
Now let's talk about Becky. This was Becky Lynch's second WrestleMania. Her look for this event was unique in its own right. I don't think we ever seen Becky Lynch had her hair up in like braids like that since.
Yeah.
So yeah, unique look to Becky Lynch, and there was a lot of near falls in this one. Anyone could have won it, really. I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot of spots to talk about. It was just pin, break up, submission hold, break up. Yes, Natalya got a double sharpshooter on, what was it, Carmella and Naomi at the same time? I know it was two of them that got the sharpshooter at the same time. I just don't remember which two.
Carmella and Alexa Bliss. Just give me a second. I'm going to mute my voice. My brother's calling me.
Yep. But yeah, the end of it came when Naomi forced Bliss to tap out to the Slay Omission to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, this match, yeah, anyone could have won, but honestly, it's like, you know, anyone could have won, but, you know, I probably would have preferred it if Lynch or James won it, but, you know, Naomi won it. That's good. It's good for what it is. But anyway, like I was saying, Naomi won with the Slay Omission to win her second women's championship. Anyway, your thoughts on this six-pack challenge for the SmackDown Women's title? It felt something like we could have seen on SmackDown at the time.
They could have had it on SmackDown.
But yeah, your thoughts on this one overall with all the pinfall, breaking up attempts, and everything else?
It was good.
I wouldn't call it match of the night, but it felt just there to be there. And I really shouldn't be saying that about a women's title match because this is still considered like, say, the modern day. But even though this event happened 8 years ago, it just didn't feel like a WrestleMania worthy type match to me.
Yeah.
But all 6 women out there and told the story they needed to tell with the time they were given.
Yeah.
It was certainly miles above that freaking Playboy pillow fight that we reviewed from Mania 22, am I right?
Somewhat.
And then we go, oh boy.
To the shittiest fucking main event ever.
We go to your favorite WrestleMania main event. I mean, I know you were very vocal about that the last couple of weeks.
No.
Especially when we did the freaking WrestleMania main event tier list. But this one featured, the main event here featured The Undertaker going one-on-one against your favorite version of Roman Reigns, the Big Dog. No reply to that one?
Fuck that.
I mean, I know you were a big Reigns mark back then.
Man.
I mean, hell, you were happy every time Reigns got the championship back then, despite being hated by everyone else.
I do not like Reigns. Never have and never will.
Yeah, you do. This was your favorite version.
No, I do not. That is you. You liked Reigns even before his Big Dog fucking character came out. You were happy that he was a face.
Yeah, no. My favorite incarnation of Reigns was the Tribal Chief, but unfortunately, that's not the version of Reigns we got here.
He loved every form of Roman Reigns.
I never claimed to be a Roman Reigns fan even then, even though I do now. I wasn't a fan of that character back then.
Yes, he was. He told me every day.
He is making shit up now. At least what I say is the truth.
It is the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Let me get struck down by lightning if it was not true.
Bang!
See, I'm still here.
And he was going up against The Undertaker. And this wasn't, prime Undertaker. This was broken down, needed freaking hip replacement surgery bad Taker. And you could tell by his performance here in this match that Taker was nowhere near 100% here.
Yes.
Of course, Jim Ross did come out to do commentary for this one. And this was billed as an all-bar match, probably to hide The Undertaker's, weaknesses here. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, we gotta talk about this matchup here, right? I mean, The Undertaker did start strong by freaking taking control of Reigns early on in the match. By beating him out of the ring, beating him up, throwing him out of the ring. What?
I said fucking shitty ass main event.
Well, we gotta talk about it. And then you can rant all you want about it afterwards. I mean, The Undertaker started off early in the match, beating down Reigns and throwing him out of the ring a couple times, yelling, "Stay out of my yard." Right?
Yeah.
Or "This is my yard." Either one, Taker was trash talking here, right?
Yep.
And of course, on the outside, Taker threw Roman Reigns into the steel steps and then performed a choke slam onto Reigns onto a table, which did not break. Right?
Yep.
So The Undertaker was trying to dominate Reigns early on in this matchup, so we got to give him that credit, right? But then,
well, he wanted to end it.
Yeah, but then freaking Undertaker was standing on one announce table, and Reigns was on another one. I think Taker was gonna try to do some damage to Reigns, like putting him through the announce table, but we'll never know because Reigns came back and speared Undertaker from one announce table through another one, which the Spanish announce table was when they got broke from the spear, with the Undertaker just lying prone for a good minute. Right?
Yep.
And of course, after a while, after Taker struggled to get up and get back into the ring, Undertaker was up in the turnbuckles when Reigns tried to do the 10 punches on Taker spot, which Taker tried to reverse into the last right. He couldn't get Reigns all the way up there, though. He awkwardly had him like balancing Reigns on his elbows or on his arms instead of on his shoulders. Pretty much gave him a half-ass powerbomb for a 2 count. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, Reigns did fight back. He nailed 2 Superman punches on The Undertaker, and then Reigns then attacked Taker with a chair. Actually, no, it was Undertaker who attacked Reigns with a chair after them Superman punches. Right?
Yeah.
And then Taker then performed a choke slam on Reigns for a 2 count. Right?
Yep.
And of course, The Undertaker then nailed a tombstone on the Reigns for a 2 count, which, yeah, everyone thought that would be in, and I wish it was over at that point. Right? But I think it was after this one that The Undertaker attempted to go for a second tombstone, only for Reigns to reverse it, but he couldn't get The Undertaker up. He didn't have the strength to lift The Undertaker up for a tombstone of his own, which I believe that was a spot they were going for, so it was botched. Right?
Yeah.
So Reigns was like, fuck it. I'm going to abandon that spot. Right? So Reigns instead hit us.
Trying over and over again to fucking land it, but it wasn't fucking working out.
Yeah, even with The Undertaker's help, Undertaker even tried to lift his legs up over Reigns' head, but it didn't work. Right?
Yep.
So Reigns decided to say fuck it and abandon that spot. So he just ended up going for another Superman punch for a 2 count. And then Reigns actually executed the spear to Taker, which Taker then applied Reigns into the Hell's Gate submission hold, but Reigns escaped it. And at this point, you could tell The Undertaker was pretty much just on defense. He didn't really go back on offense throughout the rest of this match. Right?
Yep.
And then Reigns then took the chair and attacked The Undertaker with the chair multiple times, even performing 2 spears on the Taker, which both times resulted in 2 counts. Right?
Yep.
And I'm sorry, but this was the part that made me, as a wrestling fan, this was depressing to see. The Undertaker tried to do a signature, sit up freaking comeback, but he couldn't do it. He was just too beaten and broken down at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, and then The Undertaker struggled to get up. Actually, The Undertaker made it up regularly to his knees. And then even Reigns was all telling Taker, stay down. And Taker, this was edited out of the Peacock version, but Taker apparently said to Reigns, you ain't got the balls. Right?
Yep.
And then after running the ropes 3 or 4 times, Reigns nailed one last final spear and pinned The Undertaker to win the match. Meaning this was The Undertaker's second loss at WrestleMania.
Yes.
And of course, we can talk about the match all we want to, but I gotta mention this. After the match, everyone hated this. Everyone hated Reigns for it, but Reigns went to the back because he knew he was hated. Right? The fans didn't like this result. And of course, they showed The Undertaker back in the ring wearing his hat and his jacket. And so The Undertaker then proceeded. Looked like he was going to leave the ring, but no. The Undertaker then took his gloves off, took his jacket off, and then took his hat off.
He took his boots off, his jacket, and his gloves, and his hat, and
left him in the ring,
signifying he was retiring.
And he even kissed his wife, Michelle McCool, who was at ringside, while The Undertaker went up to the center of the entrance ramp, did his signature arm raise before just sitting back down from where he came.
Now, It's my turn.
The only reason I brought that up is because that symbolized at the time, which we all believed at the time, that The Undertaker was going to retire. And that this was it. Okay, so... Okay, now I'm going to tell my opinion of the match. The match to me was disappointing. I mean, The Undertaker he tried, but he couldn't even do it. The Undertaker even went on documentations years later saying, yeah, he shouldn't have been a part of that match. And that he really regretted the match with Roman Reigns. Because he felt like he could have done better at the time if he was in better health. Medical-wise at that point. So, after we just reviewed the match, let me hear your opinion of why this match is hated. I'd probably agree with you.
Garbage.
So what's your thought?
It was fucking trash. That whole fucking match was garbage. It should not even fucking counted. It was bullshit from beginning to end.
Just get it all off your chest there, am I right? Just tell us how you really feel, bruh.
It was fucking bullshit then, and it's fucking bullshit now. Fucking Vince McMahon knew Undertaker was not in good health, yet he still had him wrestle.
Are you cool, bro?
And of course, it was to put over Roman Reigns as the next big man, the big top event. Did not work.
And of course, let's talk about the night after Raw. The night following Mania on Raw. Because I remember that promo. Jesus Christ. They opened up Raw the next night with Roman Reigns coming out to the ring. And you think Dominic Mysterio gets heat? No, Reigns at this point got nuclear heat the night after WrestleMania here.
Yes.
He got that get the fuck off of our screens fucking heat from everyone. Yes. To where he couldn't even freaking talk without getting like freaking hella booed over like Dominic does today.
Exactly.
And the only thing that Roman said during that whole promo was, "This is my yard now," and everyone hated him. Worse than they did prior to this event.
It just solidified all the fucking hate that was going, because he was trying to be the fucking next Undertaker. There's no way in hell that he was going to be the fucking next Undertaker. Saying it was his or no, it would always be it always has been, it always will be the Undertaker's yard.
Yeah. I didn't really like this main event either, and I'll explain why when I do my rating system, literally, which we're going to be getting to, which we would always consider our favorite part of the reviews anyway.
And this is the first that I'm giving it a shit score for an Undertaker match.
I really hate to do the same, but I'm on board with you here. Now, AJ Styles defeating Shane McMahon in that awesome opener. I gave that one 5 out of 5.
It was a 4.5 out of 5 for me.
Which to me is shocking, giving a Shane McMahon match a 5 out of 5. But hey, it happens, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Owens defeating Chris Jericho to win the United States Championship. I gave that one a solid 4 out of 5.
4.5.
Bayley retaining the Raw Women's Championship in that fatal 4-way elimination matchup. As a whole, I just gave that one 3 3/4 out of 5.
4.5.
Yeah, you enjoyed it slightly more than I did. The Hardy Boys winning the Raw Tag Team Championships in their return to the WWE in that 4-team ladder match. I gave that one 4.5 out of 5. I gave that one 4.5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
John Cena and Nikki Bella defeating The Miz and Maurice in that mixed tag match. I only gave 3 out of 5. It was on average.
4.5.
Explain your reasoning. It felt like an average match to me.
It was average, but it was still entertaining for an average match.
Yeah. Seth Rollins defeating Triple H in that unsanctioned match. 4 3/4 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Okay. Randy Orton defeating Bray Wyatt in the weirdest WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. I gave that one 2 out of 5. I wasn't really entertained by it.
Well, for Bray Wyatt, I hate to say this, and I might get hate in the comments for this, but it was a 1.5. I'm sorry. I could not go any higher.
I mean, I only gave it 2 out of 5 because it is a Bray Wyatt match. I can't go any lower than that, and it wasn't his fault. He was working with what he was given at the time.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar defeating Goldberg in that 5-minute car wreck to win the Universal Championship. Easy 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Yep.
It's your baby!
Naomi winning that 6-pack challenge to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. I gave that one 3.5 out of 5.
4.
And oh boy. Now, before I reveal my rating for this one, if this was the Undertaker's final match, period, and he didn't come back in 2018, 2019, and 2020 to have matches, I probably would have given this one maybe 1.5 out of 5 because this would have been Taker's last match, but I can't even do that. And as much as I hate giving Taker a Taker match this score, I can't find any enjoyment out of this one. So Roman Reigns defeating The Undertaker, I gave that one 0.
I gave it -5.
Which is basically what I said.
Yes.
And I really hate doing that to an Undertaker match. But, you know, benefit of the doubt, he wasn't even in shape and he shouldn't have even been competing at this year's Mania by his own admittance. And he would have hip replacement surgery shortly after Mania anyway this year.
Yes.
So my final grade for WrestleMania 33 overall gets a B.
B-.
And if there's like 1 or 2 matches I would recommend you going back and watching, it would be the tag team 4-way ladder match and, of course, the Lesnar and Goldberg match. So yeah, that being said, we're done with this review. Now, I know next week it'll be my pick for the retro event that we review, but you're all just going to have to wait and see because you know, this weekend, literally 24 hours from now is going to be time of recording is going to be WrestleMania 41 night 1, and then Sunday WrestleMania night 41 night 2. Which you know we're going to be doing the reviews on that one too. So Sunday will be the WrestleMania 41 night 1 review, and Monday will be the WrestleMania 41 night 2 review.
Yes.
So when it comes to my picks for what review we're going to be doing after WrestleMania 41, you're just going to have to wait till the end of the WrestleMania 42 night 2 review for me to reveal it. So,
or if you wanted to, it was on night 1, but yeah.
Night 1, night 2, either way, I'm going to let y'all know my pick for next week in one of those 2 videos.
Yes, it'll be tomorrow.
Yep. So until then, we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.